Hey guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Priscilla and I have some very exciting news for you guys. I am a family nurse practitioner certified. So that's kind of why I've been MIA in the YouTube and social media world, but I am here to tell you guys, I did it, you can do it too. So obviously this video is going to be me sharing tips and tricks with you guys on how to study the NP boards. Let's get started. So first of all, you got to figure out what you want to take. Do you want to take the AANP or do you want to take the ANCC? I signed up for both, so I took one, passed it, and transitioning to taking the other one. So in this interim kind of waiting period to take the ANCC, I decided that, hey, I need to share my tips and tricks because there's a lot of information out there. YouTube has definitely helped me, but this is something that I think that I would want to share with you guys. So my number one tip is to have the mindset of a nurse practitioner, believing in yourself, knowing that you can do it. Thousands of nurse practitioners have done it, so can you as well. Get that mindset in your head because you have a lot of content to get through, a lot of content that you are going to have to study, learn, know, not only for yourself, but for your patients. And that's very, very important. So that's my number one tip: mindset, mindset, mindset. Believe in yourself, know that you do it, know that you can do it. Other people have done it, and so can you. So my second tip is knowing your study style. So knowing your study style is something that's very key, very important. I know that everyone talks about the LEAK book. They're like, get LEAK, this is all you need to know. LEAK didn't quite work out for me just because I am not, obviously I can read, I can read, but reading and doing practice questions just didn't cut it out for me. I needed something more. English is not my first language. English is my fourth language. And reading something, I'm just like, wait, what did I just read? Let me translate that. Can I reread this? So I read the whole book front to back and took a couple of practice questions. That did not help me, y'all. That did not help me at all. I mean, the way that she wrote it was simplified enough so that, I mean, I understood that, but I needed something more than just reading the book and doing her practice questions. And if you guys are in that similar ballpark, I mean, you're gonna need more. You can't just read something once or twice and then think that you got it. Like, it's not that's just not how I learned. That's just not my study style. And it's very important to know what kind of study style that you know. So I am a visual learner and I'm an auditory learner, visual learner, and kinetic learner. So I use all my senses. I read, I wrote, I listened to lectures and attended seminars, as well as did a bunch of practice questions. So I use all four of those, but the most important thing that helped me out was listening to the lectures and listening over and over and over again to the content that I needed to master in order to pass my board exam. So knowing what type of study style that you have, that you work best in, that you learn best in, is very important, especially studying for boards like that. Obviously, you can't get away from reading the practice questions and doing a gajillion practice questions. But if you don't know the core content, doing a bunch of practice questions will not help you. Well, it will help you, but knowing that content will help you pass and do well and better on your practice questions. So my third tip is to do a course. Find a course that works for you. Find a teaching style that works best for you. I was kind of crazy. I took a lot of courses because I did not know specifically what I needed to know to pass the boards. So they tell you, you need to know every single thing that you learned in nurse practitioner school, and you need to go and take this exam. I took my course I took my schooling over the course of 4 years. And then all because of the pandemic, I kind of had to pause and stop, start and stop, start and stop NP school, and then doing clinicals. I had to find a clinical preceptor. I moved, so I was doing life while doing my nurse practitioner school. And a lot of the stuff that I had to master were done in was 2 years ago. I took pharmacology 2 years ago. I took, a course that would have benefited 3 years ago. And so I had to kind of figure out, hey, girl, I needed to relearn a lot of things and master them before I could take the exam and be comfortable, saying hey, when I pass this exam, I'm going to be comfortable going in and taking care of patients. I'm going to be safe. So that's something that you really need to hone in on, but take a course that will help you master this content, whatever course it is. I personally took all of the courses. I don't recommend that because it was a lot. It was a lot. But I found that 2 courses really stood out and really helped me to just zone in onto the content that I really, really needed. 3, but my number 1 course was the Sarah Michelle course, and it was the live in-depth review course, 5-week course, and it was very, very helpful. They had office hours. They had people, if you had questions, they would answer your questions. She broke down the content in a way that it was very, very manageable to take. It wasn't too overwhelming. If you wanted to work ahead, you could, but within 4 weeks, you would learn the content. The 5th week, you would master it, and you should take that exam within 2 weeks of finishing the course, which I did, and I passed. But within that 2-week period, I also did Latira Walden, the crash course, as well as her live review. And that kind of helped me wrap everything up, put the nice bow on everything, and gave me a little bit of a confidence boost. Another person that really helped me was Holier, the APEA course. She really helped me in the cardiac department because I was really trying to figure out, I was freaking out about the cardiac. I really wanted to master that cardiac content. And she really, 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 she went in, and she's a really good teacher. She's entertaining. She's really lively. And I think that that's what stood out between all the courses that I've taken, all the courses that I took. Sarah Michelle, very in-depth, very down to earth. She broke down the content in a way that you can understand. She didn't use too much jargon. I mean, we're going to use medical jargon, but she kind of broke it down, and all these 3 instructors broke it down on their platforms, on their courses, and that really helped me to just get the content, make it stick. I love the mnemonics that they all gave, the buzzwords with Latira Walden, and the mnemonics that Sarah Michelle gave me throughout the courses were golden. And, the cardiac stuff that Holier gave, I was like, okay, I know who Peyton Manning is. Come on. So they all kind of they gave me the confidence that I needed to master the content. And that's the number 1 thing with these courses. I'm going to do a review on all the courses that I took for you guys in a different video because it's going to be extensive. But my next tip would be to rewrite your notes. So I kind of did this. I got a notebook, and then I started rewriting notes. I mean, obviously I did it in different colors. I had Post-it notes, like I rewrote my notes every single day for 2 to 3 weeks. And it was just, I started just rewriting notes, and then I was trying to do the spider method. I mean, I was doing a lot. But if I found that a content was not sticking, a topic was not sticking, I use note writing using active recall to rewrite the notes that I had. If you write your notes every single day, there's going to be a point where you're going to have to start, you know, using active recall to bring back the content that you're like, oh, maybe I should, you know, I know this. So every day I would sit down. I have my notepad here. This is just filled. This is filled with notes. So I did notes here. Notes. First, I started out just writing notes from all the courses that I took. And once I finished writing these notes, I realized that, first of all, they were very, very messy because I was trying to write it along. And second of all, I need to go back and really know what I am writing. Like, I really need to know what I'm writing. So I filled this whole legal pad up with the notes on the courses that I took. And then I bought this notebook to do active recall. So active recall is when you're sitting down, it's a blank sheet, you have your topics down, and you are actively retrieving through your memory the notes that you have written. So I did that for about 3 weeks, because I started doing that halfway through. I'm like, hey, I need to start learning how to study effectively. And I use active recall to rewrite my notes for the last 3 weeks leading up to the exam. And my very last thing that I did was do practice questions. You're taking an exam. It's going to be an exam that is online. There's no way that you can get away from doing practice questions. So I did 100 to 150 practice questions every single day. Sometimes twice a day, sometimes 3 times a day, which was too much. In the middle of it, I kind of like over tested, stopped for a couple of, like 2 days or something like that. And then went back, got back on it. But I'm telling you, from the time I started practicing to the time I tested, I went from like a 40, 45 to like 80, 85. So this works for me. I'm not really seeing other people saying that online, but a lot of people just say, read the book and then do your practice questions. And like, I can't just read and then just do it. But if you're doing your practice questions, review the practice questions, review them. Go to the topics and the topic areas that you are weak in, you know. The top 3 areas that you need to master is your cardiac, your respiratory, and your endocrine. Those are like the triple threats. People are dying because of cardiac issues, respiratory issues, and endocrine issues. You're going to have your majority of your patients have hypertension and diabetes. You need to know the first line medications. You need to know how to treat them walking through the door. Whether you're working in family medicine or you're working in pediatrics, you need to know these things. So there is that with the practice questions. The exam is a safety exam, just like the NCLEX. It's a safety exam. They want you to be the safest novice practicing nurse practitioner. So do these things, practice, do your practice questions, and you guys can do it. Get that mindset right. You can do it. Figure out which instructor works best for you. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. I hope this helps somebody. Have an awesome day. And yes, I'm back. Oh, thank God. Thank God. Okay, guys. Bye.